Hello and welcome back to Man Yells at Gators. That's right, I am a University of Florida student, which means the Gators teams are my favorite teams to yell at. And boy, did the Gator baseball team give me something to be excited for. Gator baseball is heading back to the World Series for the second straight year. And I can't say it was expected, as the Gators went 28-27 in the regular season. They barely qualified for the regional, but they waltzed into Stillwater. They took down Nebraska. They took down 11-seed Oklahoma State, and they traveled to 6-seed Clemson for the Super Regional. And they won Game 1 behind a stellar performance from the offense and Brandon Neely. And what do they do the next day? They walk into Clemson's home turf sporting their Gator orange jerseys, and they take down the number 6 seed Clemson in 13 innings. The Gators became just the 20th third or lower seed all time to make it to Omaha. But I'm here today because yesterday's game between Clemson and Florida was one of the greatest baseball games I've ever had the pleasure of watching. Let me break down this incredible game for you. It started off strong in the first inning when Jack Caglione, one of the best hitters in the country, hit a towering home run over the gigantic batter's eye. But things started to get really crazy in the second inning when a Clemson batter hit a slow dribbler to the pitcher, who also happens to be Jack Caglione. Caglione tagged out the runner who was running full force towards him and gave him a little bit of an elbow, and Caglione took exception to that. And so Cags pushed the runner back and jawed a little bit as the benches cleared. This play ended the inning, but the umps got together for 18 minutes and discussed if any ejections would result from the play. And after the long interruption, the umps decided that Jack Crichton from Clemson would be ejected. Crichton was not even involved in the play. He was standing on second base when the ball was hit, and as he rounded third and the out was recorded, he walked towards the skirmish. The umps decided that because he did not walk directly toward the dugout, he was ejected, but the fight happened in front of the Clemson dugout. I don't know what they expected Crichton to do. And so tempers were flaring from the very beginning. The Clemson crowd was furious. They were into it the whole game. But when everything was said and done, the Gators held a 3-run lead in the top of the ninth. Clemson had come down to their final 3 outs before they were officially eliminated from the Super Regional. Florida's star closer Brandon Neely was on the mound, but he did have to pitch the day before as well. So, of course, Clemson's Cam Cannarella hit a 3-run, no-doubt home run to tie the game in the top of the 9th inning. The crowd went nuts. They all rose to their feet to support their team. That season was not quite over yet. And Clemson made quick work of the Gators in the bottom of the 9th, and so the game was going to extras. And in the bottom of the 10th, the Gators had men on first and second with Ashton Wilson coming to the plate. Ashton Wilson hit a ball deep onto the warning track, and because the center fielder was playing shallow, he had to sprint out to get it. It looked like it was over his head, but at the last second, Cam Cannarella leaped with his back to the ball, and he somehow was able to catch the ball with his bare hand. It was Willie Mays-esque, and it was one of the greatest game-saving plays of all time. If he does not make that play, Clemson's season is over right then and there. But the game would keep going on, and neither team was able to score in the 11th or 12th until the top of the 13th, when Alden Mathis, who was 0 for 6 up to that point, hit a monster home run to give Clemson the 1-run lead in the top of the 13th inning. And of course, this resulted in Clemson's head coach and one of their assistant coaches from getting ejected from the game. Apparently, the umps discussed ejecting Mathis for his bat flip, and the coaches got so angry that not one, but 2 of them were ejected. Mathis himself never got ejected, but I guess just the possibility of it angered the coaches so much that they were willing to talk until they got ejected, which makes 3 people that got ejected from the game. And now the pressure was on the Gators, who had failed to score in the last 4 innings. Luke Heyman and Tyler Shelnut were up for the Gators, who had both went 0 for 6 up to that point. But of course, they both got clutch singles to get themselves on base, and Dale Thomas followed it up with a beautiful sac bunt to get runners on second and third with only 1 out. Clemson would intentionally walk the next batter to set up the double play at home plate. And who else but Michael Robertson, the 9-hole hitter, to come up clutch in the bottom of the 13th with a walk-off 2-run double. Words cannot describe how incredible this game was, how many swings there were, how high the emotions were. And now the Gators are headed to Omaha for the College World Series, where they will almost certainly be the biggest underdogs of the tournament as the only unranked team remaining. But you know what? That has not stopped the Gators so far. No one gave them a chance to make it to Omaha, but here they are. And I see no reason why they can't win the whole damn thing. Why not? They have arguably the best player in all of college baseball, an electric bullpen led by Brandon Neely, and lately the starting pitching has even shown their potential. I am not saying the Gators are going to win the whole thing, but if I'm Texas A&M, if I'm Kentucky, I'm scared. I'm scared of this Gators team. They have absolutely nothing to lose. And everyone, I'm warning you now, do not be surprised if this unranked Gators team wins their second ever College World Series.